Well, hello, friends. This is Bishop Andy C. Luger, and as always, I am delighted to come to you with another one of my online webinars. Today, we're going to have a rather technical discussion, and I am so excited to have sharing with me as a consultant, as an expert actually in this particular area, Minister Robin Ware, who is coming to us from Atlanta, Georgia. Minister Ware, say good afternoon to us.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I am so excited and delighted to be with you all for this training. Thank you for having me, Bishop.
Thank you for making yourself available. Listen, beloved, Minister Ware wears a number of different hats. You have listened to me call her or refer to her as Minister Ware. She is a minister in the Lord's Church there in Atlanta. Her pastor is Bishop Paulus Morton. She's a part of Changing a Generation Church. She's also very, very active and a critical component of our media ministry and our social media ministry for the Full Gospel Baptist Church Fellowship. But today she is coming wearing a third hat, and that is the hat of being competent and an expert of sorts in a brand new mobile app that is called Periscope. Now, Minister Ware, before we get into Periscope itself, talk to our audience very briefly about your involvement, background, and experience in technology and why this excites you so much.
Yes, absolutely. I'm doing a dual role here. Hey, everybody on Periscope, give me some hearts if you're watching. I want you all to come and join me here on the webinar. But Bishop Luger, I absolutely love ministry. I am a church girl to the core. But as a profession, I do serve as a coach, and I work with a lot of churches and pastors, helping them with social media and technology, integrating that as a viable ministry tool. I'm based out of Atlanta. As you shared, I am a part of Changing a Generation. Bishop Paul Morton is my pastor. My agency, again, thewareagency.com. Pastors are welcome to go there and get a wealth of information about church growth, church strategies, marketing, branding, all that good stuff. But today, my favorite topic of the moment is Periscope. So I'm excited. And again, as I said, Bishop, I'm doing double duty here. You guys see me. I thank you all for the hearts. We are Periscoping live and doing a webinar live. I want you all on Periscope, though, to go to Twitter, because I'm not going to keep Periscope open. I want you to go to Twitter and get the link so you can join this live webinar. Thank you, Bishop.
Okay. So before we get into exactly how Periscope can help churches and ministries, let's talk about Periscope itself. What is it, its background, and give us a quick overview. This is actually a training. So I'm actually going to yield, let you kind of take the reins, put you in the driver's seat, and share with us everything that we as laypersons need to know, but then we as pastors and preachers and church leaders need to know as well.
All righty. Well, Periscope is a live streaming video app. Easy as that. It's an app on your smart device. You all see my phone here, and actually I'm streaming. I'm going to lift up my computer so you guys can see. I'm actually doing Periscope right now on my iPad. Can you see that, Bishop?
Yes, we can.
Yep, doing it on my iPad while we do this live webinar. You know, unlike Instagram and Vine, which allow for videos, they allow for videos after they have been recorded. But Periscope allows for live videos. So all my Periscope folks over here, I hope you're going to Twitter, clicked on my link at Robin M. Ware, clicked on the link so you could join us here on the webinar. The thing that Periscope permits is it's live. So there's no pretenses. You know, I like to say, you know, Instagram should be called Aftergram because it's after people have staged their picture 3 or 4 different ways, added a filter, changed lighting, and posed different ways that they post their picture. And so when you see them in person, they're half the person that you see on Instagram. Well, Periscope prevents that. It is you live in color. And so from a pastoral perspective, you need to understand that your church members are in your audience, in your pews, in their seats, on their smart devices, because you're thinking they're tweeting or maybe even sending out a text, inviting somebody to watch your live stream, but they may in fact now be periscoping. Yes, and so you got to be careful. Bishop, I was sharing with a pastor last week that I enjoyed his ministry. He was at a conference and he said, well, how did you see it? Because they didn't stream. And I told him that somebody used Periscope, and he immediately said, oh my goodness, I hope that they didn't catch me saying something, you know, off color. And so pastors have to keep that in mind, particularly when you're sharing information that you don't want disclosed outside of the family. Mm-hmm. So financials, people that are sick, you're doing, you know, prayer reports, and even prophecies. When you're doing prophetic moments, you know, those are personal. And so that's something that you don't want the world to see or to know. You want to make sure that you're, you know, updating your audience about the do's and don'ts of using Periscope.
Excellent, excellent. So now, Minister, walk us through the various steps involved in using Periscope. I don't want to assume that our audience is already familiar with that, and so I want to assume that we're starting from scratch. So take them through the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of this particular platform and app.
Okay, great. So again, Periscope audience, I want you to go to twitter.com, go to my at Robin M. Ware, so that you guys can get the link to join this live webinar. Thank you, T. Marie, for asking people to join this webinar. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for the hearts. I'm going to share what all that lingo means, you guys. So you're getting to experience Periscope and how it works even while we do this webinar. But Periscope is an app. It is not a desktop application. It is a mobile application. So you can only access it on a smart device, whether that is the phone or an iPad or another, you know, type of smart device. Really simple. You go to your app store, download the Periscope app. When you open the app, Twitter owns Periscope. So when you open Periscope, you are able to log in with your Twitter credentials. Really simple. It's the same Twitter handle and your same Twitter password. Now, when you log in, you can change your username on Periscope. Meaning, I'm sorry, you could change your name on Periscope, but not your user profile name, right? That's still going to be what it is on Twitter. So the only way to change that is to actually change it on Twitter or create a new Twitter account. So the only thing I want to make sure you understand when it comes to setting up Periscope is that you update your bio. Make sure that your bio reflects the Periscope audience, which they're looking for, you know, live streaming. So it's more engaging, more transparency of who you are. Whereas Twitter is more of a professional, closed, you know, network. You only have 140 characters to say what you want to say. Periscope, you can go on and on and on. So my Periscope audience, I'm getting ready to log off, as I told you I would. So one last time, go to twitter.com, follow me at Robin M. Ware, and you'll get the link to join this live webinar. All right. So I wanted to end that.
Say to you that it is, I've just taken a look at our room, and we're up over just around 25, rapidly approaching 30 people.
Good.
So people are moving over and listening to what you're talking about.
Good. That's good stuff. I appreciate that. So make sure you update your bio so that it is attractive for the Periscope audience. Couple of tips that I shared. In fact, I'm going to see if I can share my screen, Bishop.
All right.
If it doesn't work, though, you guys don't panic. I will zip right back. But I wanted to, all right, just show you a quick little slide.
Mm-hmm.
All righty, are you able to see that?
Yes, we can.
All right, good, good, good. Oops, okay, all right, so Periscope 101, there we go. So kind of the ABCs of Periscope and how it works. So of course, what is it? A live video streaming app. How do you set it up? Literally just go through your app store and download it for free. Again, yes, your bio is already completed because it pulls your bio from Twitter, but I do want you to update it so that it more reflects your personality for live video streaming. And then let's talk a little bit about what's on the Periscope page. The Periscope page has 4 buttons at the bottom. The first button is like a little TV screen. It shows what scopes are live, and scopes is what the broadcasts are referred to as. There will be a globe icon that shows your location from where you're doing your scope. There's an actual Periscope icon that allows you to start broadcasting. And then you'll see an icon that looks like a group of 3 people, and that gives you access to your actual Periscope page. So, so quickly, before I jump into, you know, how do you actually Periscope, I want you to understand from a pastoral level that the draw in attracting followers is in the value of your headlines. And when I say sales, I mean, of course, you know, registrations for events or even book and product sales. So it's all in the value of your headlines. So Periscope allows you to put the title of what you're going to be broadcasting. So I want you to be very strategic about coming up with your title. How to use Periscope, literally, I mentioned a moment ago, there is a button on there that says Start Broadcast. When you click Start Broadcast, after you've entered your headline, you go live, Bishop. I mean, right at that moment, you go live to the world. And so one quick thing you need to know is that your camera is going to be facing outward. So right now, as of this recording, that is something that can't be changed. So hopefully Periscope will do an update in years or months, days to come, where you can choose what direction your camera faces. But as of now, it faces outward. So you want to be careful and face your camera, point it towards maybe an image on your computer screen or maybe a graphic of whatever you're trying to promote, okay? So once you start your broadcast, then you can turn your camera around and face it towards you, and you start broadcasting. And then lastly is the life of a broadcast. The broadcast lasts on Periscope just 24 hours. After 24 hours, it goes away. So you can save that broadcast to your camera roll and then later upload it to YouTube or to your website, whatever you choose to do. But that in a nutshell is how it works.
Okay.
All right.
Now, let me ask some technical questions, not so much technical questions, but for a pastor who's using Periscope for the first time, I would imagine that a key ingredient in this is developing an audience or a list. And so how does a local pastor or church leader develop an audience so there's somebody who is watching their scopes?
Absolutely. You know, it's really simple. It's not that difficult. If you think in the mindset of church growth strategies, so build consistency. So you need to decide how often you're going to scope. And Bishop, I'm clicking on the chat room to see if there's any questions. Okay, good. I see the folks are giving us some comments.
Yes. Watching
but
that well.
build consistency. Even today, I started church chat. So I'm letting people know that now I'm choosing to do it every single morning, but I'm the social media queen, so I love Periscope. But every single morning I'm hosting what I call church chat. So people can log on between 9 and 10 and watch my Periscope. And I teach from that Periscope, which leads me to my second point. Give some great information. People don't want to get on your Periscope just to hang out. People's time is very valuable. So if you all agree with that, give us some comments here in the comment box. But show consistency, give great content, and then, of course, you need to support others. So go on other Periscopes and watch and participate. We'll talk about hearts in just a second, but give people hearts, which just means that you like what they're sharing, you like what their Periscope's about, and so you're encouraging them to continue with what they're doing. And then, of course, invite your church audience to share your Periscope account, the profile on their particular networks. Again, building consistency is important. So your church can say, you know, every Monday morning, the church is on Periscope at 10 a.m. and then the pastor's on at 10:30. Because one of the things I teach, Bishop, and I actually put together a Periscope with a purpose ebook for pastors, is that you should have a Periscope account for the church and then one for the pastor. So that way the church builds its own audience and then the pastor builds his own audience, and he's able to, he or she, I am a minister of the gospel too, so I want to make sure I say he or she, even though I know he is not gender specific, but that they build an audience and they're able to be transparent and let people really meet the real them. Because people want to meet their pastor, you know, outside of church and the four walls of church. So, you know, let me see you just enjoying time with your family and kind of sharing some things that are on your heart.
Okay, great. And you say, and again, you say that this is attached to a Twitter account. So if a pastor is just starting out, I would imagine he could go to his existing contacts with Twitter. Is there any interactivity with Facebook for those who might have significant numbers in Facebook? How do they get those individuals to follow them in terms of Periscope?
Well, because Periscope is owned by Twitter, they of course have no interest in trying to make Periscope connect to Facebook. But there's a way to do it, and so it's a little complex. But I did put it in my ebook, so if they get my ebook, they can get the steps on how to do it, including a live YouTube video that walks them through actually how to do it, Bishop.
Well, let's talk about that, because you did just mention that you have developed an ebook on this particular topic. So talk to us about the ebook, its contents, your contact, and how individuals can secure a copy for themselves.
Sure, I put it in the comments, but you can go to scopequeen.com. I'm the Periscope Queen, so my URL is scopequeen.com, and you can purchase the ebook. Bishop, I didn't even tell you this. It's only $14.97. It's so affordable.
Great.
As a social media queen expert, I wanted to be a blessing and help pastors get right on the bandwagon of using this as an evangelistic tool. And so the book is about 40 pages, and goodness, there's probably 20 plus pages of strategies that pastors can use to, for church growth purposes using Periscope. So go to scopequeen.com. It's a digital download. It'll come right to your smart device immediately. You get a link actually, and you download the link, and it's as simple as that, Bishop.
Minister Year asks, has Periscope found a way that the broadcaster can share the code to use across social media audiences? At this point, I have only seen the link available to those who are watching.
Right. Hey, Tier, I know her. Good to have you on, Tier. Yeah, you can only share that the broadcast is live through Twitter. Again, you guys got to remember that Twitter owns Periscope. However, as I was sharing, I found a solution. It's a little technical, and so that's why I put it in the ebook. I'm not trying to, trick you guys or, for you guys to go buy the ebook. It really is technical, and so you need to follow the steps that are in the ebook to make it work. But it works off of hashtags. Let me just give you that. Okay. Because as you know, you can do a search using a hashtag. So though Periscope doesn't recognize hashtags in live Periscopes, your Periscope broadcast title, when that posts over on Twitter, your hashtag then becomes a searchable link in Twitter, and then it can jump to other networks. So again, it's technical how you do it, but it is possible. So I explain all of that in the ebook.
Listen, Dennis is saying, great idea, but can you interact while you are recording?
Absolutely. I interact every day with my audience. Bishop, I had over 700 people on my Periscope this morning. Think about it. I know some pastors that don't have an audience of 700 people. So you got to get on Periscope. Absolutely. You are live. You are talking. People are watching you. It is live interaction. And one of the things I do is, because you're not able to type, there's not a comment box for you as the host to give information, I assign someone to be my scope scribe. So, and what I mean by that is, as I give different tips, as I give websites, I ask them to post it using, to post it in their comment box. And that way it will show. So that's how you interact most effectively on Periscope.
Now, talk to us, Minister, because one of the things that I heard you say is that there should be a Periscope account for the church and one for the pastor. What are some of the other creative usages of this platform developed by churches?
Sure. As a part of the strategies that I give in the ebook, I want you all to know as pastors that Periscope can really help you when it comes to a building campaign. Just think about it. We know that a picture's worth 1,000 words, then a video, oh my goodness, a live video has to be worth 1,000,000. So you literally can walk through your building project, showing the progress, giving a URL in your headline title that people can click on to actually give and donate and read other updates about your project. The other way that you can use Periscope as a viable ministry tool is at the kickoff of your service. Somebody can use Periscope. Only do it for about 10 or 12 minutes, because you want to drive that traffic, just like how we did on this Periscope. You drive traffic to your live stream, because Periscope is run off of a mobile app, which eats a lot of data. And so the connection may not be strong as well. And so people will jump off of a link that doesn't have a good connection, Bishop. So lead the people to your live video streaming of your worship service. And then, of course, they can become more engaged because they can use other social media platforms. They can also participate when it comes to worship through giving, also through discipleship. When you offer discipleship, we do it on our stream. We offer Christ to those that are watching through live streaming. So you want to be able to do that, and to do that effectively, you really need to direct them off of Periscope. However, again, your initial audience on Periscope is going to be pretty large. If you build consistency, let me just preface it with that, and you give good content, you got to give people a reason why they should show up on your scopes, right? And you'll see that you will have an impact and increase in your live viewing audience for your worship services or special events.
Minister, and this may be just a little bit off topic, but explain the difference between Periscope and live stream. You're saying that you really want to drive people to your live stream. Now,
Sure.
African-American churches, we tend to be a little slow in the adoption of technology. Talk to us about how important it is to have a live stream capability as a part of the foundation of your social media ministry.
Sure, absolutely. I definitely think you should live stream. I consult with churches all the time, and some of them feel like, well, people won't come because they'll sit at home and stream. People are going to sit at home and stream somebody else if you don't stream. If that person wants to stream, the fact that you don't have a stream isn't going to make them come to your service. You got to think about that. So, here in Atlanta, where I'm based out of, traffic is a nightmare sometimes. Yes, even on Sundays. And so if a person decides they don't want to deal with the traffic, they're not going to go to your church. They're going to find somebody with a live stream. So please, sir, ma'am, don't use that as a reason why you should not live stream. It also allows you to reach a global audience, Bishop. And so with that said, you can reach people all across the U.S., all across the world through your live stream. And then third, I don't want to make everything about money, but you have a larger reach when it comes to people sowing into your ministry. You'd be surprised at the people that attend Church of the Bedside Baptist every single Sunday. And yet they still want to sow because they understand that the principle works regardless. You sow, you reap. It doesn't say you sow and reap if you come to church. it says you sow, you reap. So there are people that want to do that. So you definitely should find a way to incorporate live streaming of your entire worship service. Now, Periscope, of course, is live streaming, but just from a personal standpoint. It is an app on your smart device. Again, it cannot hold the bandwidth of all the thousands and thousands of people that you could through a live streaming link. So that's the other reason why you don't want to try to use Periscope as your live stream, Bishop.
Okay, let's go back to our chat room, Minister. Would you suggest CatchThatMe to use for keeping the video you share on Periscope to use on the websites, blogs, or later social media services?
Yeah. There are platforms like CatchThatMe. Absolutely, I use CatchThatMe actually. But let me say this: for SEO purposes, search engine optimization, a lot of people ask me, because I teach how to make your inbox your cash box. And so, of course, I'm coming from my entrepreneur's hat when I say that, but you need content in your YouTube channel. So it is, yes, you can put your videos out there for CatchThatMe, but all that means is that people that maybe don't catch your stream live, they go to CatchThatMe and give them the traffic. I don't want CatchThatMe to get my traffic. I want them to go to YouTube and get my traffic through YouTube. And then that way, you know, as a church, when you're trying to attract sponsors, they're going to ask you, well, how many YouTube viewers do you have? They don't want to know how many CatchThatMe viewers you have, because people don't sign up to follow you on CatchThatMe. So they follow you on YouTube. So that's why I would prefer you send the traffic to YouTube. CatchThatMe will let you see the viewers and their comments. And if you're an internet marketer, that might be important to you. But as a pastor, I don't really think that that's a great, or I don't think that's a necessary tool. I mean, all information is great information, but you would get, in my opinion, better use out of building that traffic on your YouTube channel.
Now, I know that our focus today, Minister, has been on Periscope, but we're on a platform called WebinarJam, which actually operates on the Google Plus Hangouts platform. Talk to those, and I know we had some technical difficulties, and so we may not be able to give as full-throated endorsement as we would like, but talk to us about WebinarJam, how it is different than Periscope, and what its usages can be for a local ministry.
Sure. You know, WebinarJam is a great webinar platform. It is, as you said, it works off of Google Hangouts. And so it is a paid service. It's not free. It will allow you, as they see us doing, you can have multiple presenters. It requires a registration. You have a chat room feature, and it's a live webinar format. The thing I like about it is that it doesn't require the end user, the viewer, to actually install any type of plugins or code, whereas GoToWebinar and some of the other webinar systems want you to do that. But the real bonus of Google Hangouts, of WebinarJam using Google Hangouts, is that the video from this webinar is automatically synced to your YouTube channel. And so that goes back to my previous point. You then have new video for your YouTube accounts. All right. So that's why I like WebinarJam.
Okay. One of our final questions. I know I've been holding you a pretty long time. And for those of you who have friends who may have missed this, we'll be rebroadcasting this. We're actually going to edit it a little bit into some smaller, more bite-sizable pieces, but there will be a replay on this. One of the additional questions is, and you just mentioned YouTube and how WebinarJam automatically connects to YouTube. The question in the chat room now is, how do you connect Periscope to YouTube?
Again, I talked through all of that in the ebook, Bishop. It's just too much to talk about on this webinar. But it is possible, and I make it very, very clear how to do it. Again, I'm a giver. And so I gave as much information as I could, almost 40 pages in that ebook. It's only $14.97, more than worth the investment. And I also would add, I did a second book, which is Periscope for Profit, which is for entrepreneurs. So both of those books, great. Go to scopequeen.com and they can get those ebooks. But I give my solutions. You know, I'm a strategy girl. And so when I work with my pastors, I give them strategies that work for them. So I promise the pastors when they get this ebook that the information will work for them. And I have made it as easy as possible to understand.
And let me share with those who are sharing with us that I have purchased both of those books, Periscope for Profit and Periscope with a Purpose. They are excellent reads. You certainly have populated both titles with a great deal of information. And if my endorsement means anything, then certainly I want those who are sharing with us to know how vital and how crucial this information is.
Thank you.
Well, friends, for the last several minutes, you have been watching and listening to Minister Robin Ware. Today, we have been talking about the brand new mobile app called Periscope. She's walked through its usage, how it can be used by a local church, a local ministry, a local pastor. Certainly, she brings an awesome amount of passion, enthusiasm, and excitement to this. I am Bishop Andy C. Luton. I want to thank you for your time of the last several minutes. Minister, any lingering items you want to share with our audience today? Anything else that they may need to know?
I don't know. Just, you know, don't be afraid of technology. Bishop and I both are tech heads or tech geeks or whatever you want to call it. But I love it. Even when I was getting familiar with Periscope, I just tried it. This is before I studied and wrote the ebook. I just tried it. And Bishop, as an entrepreneur, let me share. I've been on Periscope now for about, I guess, 3 weeks, not quite a month, just 3 weeks. And I have made some really good money off of Periscope. And so that's why I put the other book together. I want you all to just try it. Yes, there's some best practices, but hey, you'll get there. You'll get there. Just try it. The audience will come. You know, one of my clients reached out to me and said, only 7 people are on my Periscope. Well, that's 7 more that would have heard you last week, right? 7 more that would have heard you before, you know, so don't get caught up in the numbers. Of that 7, it could be the one person that invites you to be the main speaker, you know, at an industry event. You don't know. So don't get caught up in the numbers. I said I would talk to the audience real quick about the hearts. Again, people give you hearts to let you know that they are in agreement with what you're teaching. Be generous as you're on other people's scopes, because when you're scoping, you want people to be generous with you. So it just helps with the ranking as far as Periscope goes. And then, you know, go follow people. Watch their scopes. It's really fun. It's engaging. In fact, I manage my time very well because, Bishop, I could sit on Periscope all day long, but I make sure that I don't do that.
Okay, one of the things that Minister Ware and I have been talking about is to try and regulate and make this somewhat routine in terms of technology, ministry, pastors, bishops. And I want to again, Minister, inquire and ask that you would continue to make yourself available as we talk about topics such as Periscope. There are so many other tools, digital tools, that are useful to ministry today. And you bring such a vast experience, knowledge, and expertise. I would like to continue this conversation in some other areas in the not too distant future as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
All righty, friends, again, I am Bishop Andy C. Luton, and I want to thank you for joining us in this online webinar. My very special guest today has been Minister Robin Ware of Atlanta, Georgia, and the WareAgency.com. She is an entrepreneur, but she's also an expert with this new tool called Periscope. Until next time, please know that God loves you, we love you, and we look forward to seeing you real soon.